I was thinking today about the mindset that for some reason is so prevalent in my age group, which is to say, young adults. I'm 19 years old. I'd say this goes up to, I guess, you know what, it goes on for a long time, I guess. Maybe it isn't just my age group. But a lot of people all the time are always talking about, like, oh, nothing you do matters, it all isn't worth anything, you're never gonna remember it, and you're not gonna leave an impact. We're just tiny speck. I'm already moving into Rick and Morty voice because I think that's opened a lot of people's eyes to it. But this whole idea of, oh, you don't matter, nothing matters, and you're never gonna leave an impact. That kind of thing. You're just a speck of dust in the big corridor of history. And they're always going on about this thing, and I say, alright, why does that matter? Why does that matter? Why does the fact that we don't matter, why does that matter? And then on the opposite side, people are always like, oh, I don't have much time on this earth, so I'm gonna do as much good as I can. I'm gonna be remembered as a good person. I'm gonna help as many people as I can. And fundamentally, that's a pretty good way of thinking. Helping people feel better about their lives is a good thing, but with the context of being remembered, why do you want to be remembered? That's my question. I don't understand this fascination human beings have with being remembered through, past their lifetime. I don't really understand this. Especially when they're not doing much, I'm looking at these people on social media where, like, they're not musicians, they're not using social media to promote their art, they're not using social media to promote anything about themselves, they're just using it because they are people connecting with other people. And they're talking about these things like, oh, I'm never going to be remembered for anything I've done. It's like, yeah, because you're not doing anything, and why do you want to be remembered in the first place? What if you were to be remembered? How would you be remembered if you're not doing anything, and why is that a priority to begin with? That's my question. I don't understand the priority of wanting to be remembered past your lifespan. Which maybe is a bit ironic for me to say, considering that, my field of research is digging up old composers that nobody has ever seen or heard of ever. So a little bit is kind of hypocritical, because what I'm doing is bringing these people to light and saying, remember these guys, but in turn I don't feel the need to be remembered myself. So maybe it's this kind of, what's the word? Maybe it's this double standard of, like, people who I think did good things deserve to be remembered because they did good things, but the priority of wanting to be remembered is not valid, I think. When you're trying to make sure you're remembered yourself, I think that's what rubs me the wrong way. Because that's what it is. These old French composers just did great stuff, and nobody remembers them, which is a shame, because they were doing great stuff completely selflessly, just putting good stuff out there, and nobody cares. But now here's these people complaining on the internet saying, oh, I want to be remembered, I'm a speck of dust in the corridor of history, and I want to be something greater, but they're not fucking doing anything about it, they're just complaining. I don't get it. I don't get why they want that. It'd be one thing if they were making something and they wanted that to be remembered, but they want to be remembered themselves just in the fact that they existed, and that makes no sense to me. This is different for people who actually create things. Artists, and of course scientists and stuff, they have reasons to be remembered. It's not them being remembered, it's what they did. They left a footprint that people care about. It's not them, it's the footprint. And these people are saying that they want to be remembered, but they're leaving no footprint. They just are the foot, and they're not doing anything about it. It makes me wonder why it's so pressing to them. Because for me, I don't care about either. When I die, I expect to just be dead. I don't expect people to still be listening to my music. I don't expect them to still be remembering me unless, like, they were in my family and they were around to see me die. I don't expect people to tell stories about me to their children, mainly because I have no stories to tell, but also because there's just no reason. It's not a priority for me, and I don't understand how it is for other people. I feel like I'm kind of talking in circles here. I think it's Rick and Morty's fault. I think it is. At least for my generation. Because I noticed that not many people were talking about this until about my junior year of high school, which maybe is just when people start thinking about it, but that's also when Rick and Morty started getting popular, and there was this whole thing of like, everyone's gonna die, come watch TV, like that kind of thing. And everyone was like, yeah, and they started liking fucking nihilist memes on Facebook. Do you guys remember that? Do you remember nihilist memes on fucking Facebook? Oh my god. And then the people who go around saying, I'm a nihilist. Like, this didn't happen until like 2 years ago. I guess 3 by now. By now. That's how it would sound if I was an anime character, and if I had cat ears, I would say by now. Like that. But this is... It's so annoying. It's so fucking annoying when people are acting like they're the only ones who know this forbidden knowledge about how nothing matters and they're so cool and, oh, I'm a nihilist, nothing matters. And then there's these other people who are like, I want to be remembered. It's like, both of you are fucking idiots. Why is this a priority? Why does this dominate your thoughts so much? Just do shit. And then everything else is a consequence of that. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. These people really piss me off, both sides. The one who says I want to get things done so that people remember me is generally better than the other because they're actually doing things and generally good things. You know, if people are like donating to charity and helping communities and stuff, that's awesome, that's great. But when they're doing it with the mindset of I want people to remember me, that's the difference of becoming an asshole. And a lot of people are like that. A lot of people are like that. It makes me so upset because they're trying to be remembered for exactly the wrong reasons. They look back at people in history and say, wow, these people did great things and I remember them. I'm going to do great things so I'm remembered too. But they're completely missing the point of doing great things. You do great things for the sake of doing great things, and then you be remembered as a consequence of that. You don't do great things for the sake of being remembered, because what does that do? What does being remembered do? It doesn't do anything. It should not be a priority, and I don't know why it is for so many people. How many times can I say that? Oh my god.